Hello. You are listening to the Carroll Connection with your host, Jared Carroll.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Carroll Connection. I'm your host, Jared Carroll, here to bring you guys another great episode. I did want to take a chance to shout out my last episode, episode 228 with Levi Leland. Came on, talked about his debut book about Edgar Allan Poe. And on that episode, he came in and kind of talked about how this opportunity came to be and really dove into the concept of kind of just being ready for an opportunity and doing your craft over and over again and just having that moment kind of presented to him, and he kind of capitalized on it, and it's been really successful for him. So if you want to check that episode out, go to thecarrollconnection.simplecast.com. Also available Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the major listening platforms. If you like to watch your podcast, go on YouTube, search The Carroll Connection, or at Jared M. Carroll, and it should pop up for you. And if you want to be a guest or return as a guest, hit me up on Instagram at Jared M. Carroll, or at The Carroll Connection, and we'll set that up, as well as plugging the 5 pillars to create a meaningful life. Only available on Amazon. If you get the book and you like the book, please submit the review on Amazon. It goes a long way in the algorithm. So that brings me to today's episode 229. This is the 2025 year in review episode, and I'm bringing back one of my favorite guests who hasn't appeared on the podcast since episode 142, bringing back the host of the Spawncast podcast, Eli DeAndrade.
Dude, thank you, man. It's a fucking honor to be back here, dude. It's seeing how much, just talking about how much we've grown just in the past couple of years, dude. Dude, kudos to you, man. Seriously, you definitely motivate everyone around you, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Kudos to you, coming up suited up and just like looking fly.
Yeah, I just picked this up from a homeless guy. I was like, yo, give me your suit right now, man. $50.
New life,
Probably
new
got
everything.
an 8-ball or something, but I hope he had a good Christmas.
But we have a lot to dive into, and I mean, it was May of 2023 when we recorded episode 142. Now we're in episode 229, and this is my annual year in review episode. I forgot to kind of mention that before we recorded.
Yes, it was. We dived down like your podcast.
Yeah, we'll dive into 2025, but like when I bring a guest on, we always dive back on everything that you've accomplished since that episode too, or since your last episode.
Yeah.
So we'll do all that, and we'll dive into 2025 specifically and kind of talk about that, because I think for both of us, this has been a huge year, and we'll kind of just shoot the shit and kind of talk about that and dive into stuff. But I'll let you kind of take the floor with the beginning of this and kind of catch the audience up on everything that's happened since May of 2023. So kind of a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, damn. May 2023. We were trying to figure out what even happened. Well, I was even up in Massachusetts at that time in May 2023. I think I was just here for fun. But during that time, I was 2 years. Actually, yeah, it was my final year into my apprenticeship program with electric motor and contracting, working on electric motors. I believe, if I remember correctly, I was in the last episode I did talk about. I was like, I do like it, but I'm trying to like change, see something new, different out there, because I just got, you work around people in blue collar work, especially been doing it for years, 20 plus, and they grow to have, not everyone, there's some great individuals I work with positive attitudes. They work, and I'm not judging work ethic or anything, but it's they're always so negative, so down. They always hate the work that they do. I'm just like, why? Why do you continue to do something you do not like? If obviously, we talked about this before the podcast. They're like, we got to pay bills and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, I got a deep reflection into just like, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? Do I see myself 10 years down the line wanting to be a mechanic, electric motor mechanic? And it's a great, like, not going to get me wrong. I've had great experiences. It's helped me travel to Pennsylvania to work at a nuclear plant. It's brought me to DC Water to work on like sewage pumps and all that, which is actually interesting. DC Water is actually the biggest wastewater treatment plant in the world. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, so don't throw your tampons and your diapers in there, please. I got tired of seeing that, taking all these pumps out and all the, no bueno. But yeah, so it was a cool experience. I've learned a lot from it, a lot of confidence from it too, because when it comes to any job, I can imagine when you get into a new career, you have this like imposter syndrome. You're like, do I really belong here? Am I of value? And that was me, and as I started learning more, disassembling my own motors, rebuilding them, test running them by my, and I'm like, wow, like it gave me the confidence. Like, what if I can do this? What else can I do? And yeah, people have always told me I've had good people skills, conversational skills. Like I always, have people open up to me. I'm like, you know what, I can. I've been wanting to get into the sales aspect and just that career lifestyle, and that was implanted in my mind 5 years ago when I first moved to Virginia, and it really started festering once I started reflecting more on those questions of like, do I really see myself staying in this career path? And I got my um, yeah, actually the same year, yeah, in 2023, yeah, wow, that's crazy, yeah. So that same year, I got my my life insurance and annuities license in Virginia, and I didn't go into it right away. I had cold feet. I was very, again, nervous. Like, you're so used to this lifestyle and career that you've built yourself up. You have expertise, you have knowledge, you built yourself a platform, and now you're bringing yourself back and restarting again. So I was very nervous, cold feet, didn't do it right away the first year when I got it. I literally just got into, I can't really dig into detail because of certain things, but like the new career, I just can't say exactly where I work in the new place, but um yeah, I jumped to this new place recently, 4 months ago, and I regret not doing it sooner. Um, I don't know if you're spirit. I don't know if anyone in the audience is spiritual, but I bless God, bless Jesus, seriously, because um, this is where I'm meant to be. I, I know it's been. I mean, I've only been here 3 months, and there's been challenges and stuff. I know it's going to be more challenges to grow, help me grow into a better person. But I love being able to. My job is literally to talk to people, like literally talk to, like, it's like I already do this. You mean yourself? You're doing this as a hobby right now. It's a fun, but like and since I was doing that as a hobby myself already, I'm like, why not add it as like an extra payment too? And also not even just talking to people, actually helping people as well when it comes to whether it be finances, future planning, stuff like that. And I didn't see myself getting into that. Like if you were to ask myself 10 years ago, like, oh, do you see yourself in finances or anything? I would be like, hell no. Like I'm terrible at math. Like 2 plus 2 is 4. Like I mean 5. Shit, I said it right the first. But yeah, it's so. Anyway, so in that first year in 2023, I was back and forth. Should I stay here? Should I go take that risk? I didn't do it. I didn't do that. And then next year, a lot of things started happening at work. I was working like 12, 5 day, 12 hour, 5 days, 12-hour days every day. And I'm just like, dude, like if I'm going to be working like this, I might as well work at a sales company where when I'm putting in these hours, this extra effort, I'm getting more compensation for my time, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, so that started getting in my mind. And then they're like, and then one day I actually met, shout out to Austin and Rob, uh, the gentleman that got me into this new career path. And I met them at a networking event. I was just originally just doing it for podcasting, and then one day we were sitting it down. They're like, "Oh yeah, we work at so and so." I was like, "Wait, what?" So like, what do y'all do? And then they explain more and more. I'm like, you know what? And I already had my license, my life insurance and annuities. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably the dumbest idea of taking taking the risk. I luckily I have a savings account where if my sales aren't consistent in the first like training year is really what I put it as. I'll be good. But I know a lot of people are afraid to take risks like that. And I want everyone out there to know that believe in yourself. You have more capabilities than you can't even fathom. Truly, I imagine you can draw, and that's why I do love your book too. That was a great read. Um, we really hold ourselves back simply just by the thoughts we tell ourselves. Um, and starting with this job too, it's definitely helped me realize that very power. Um, sorry, my ADHD. I'm
No, I want to jump in
sorry,
on
my
this
ADHD.
actually.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's a perfect build too because we obviously are talking about major like career changes,
yeah,
especially now in 2025, where you kind of said you took this job recently, and
yeah,
like I was telling you how I took a job recently too, and like I think this is a perfect like discussion point of like, and I was telling you off podcast of like sometimes you just know it's time to go, and you have to be willing to like go try something new because when you don't. you're gonna have that regret of not wanting to go. And like even before I took this role that I'm at now, um, I was applying, I was interviewing, and like I had this one interview that like I was like, oh, I want this job. Like this is the one. And like I didn't get it and I was so bummed. But like you kind of mentioned spirituality, and like I had that just like I always have this faith that just like I'm gonna be good no matter what. And for some reason that role wasn't meant for me. And it was like maybe a month or so later, I got the role that I'm in now, and like it just everything worked out timing wise. And I'm big in like believer in like the fall time and like change and like the season of fall, and like everything's changing, and like being like willing to change with it. Like things die and new things can grow from that. And um I took time off during that period where I left my job and had like a couple weeks off where I really got to like rest and recover. And during that time I even proposed to my now fiance, and like it brought this new like
Congrats.
thank you, and it
Happy for
brought
you.
me this new like found sense of like joy and like excitement for life again, because like I'm entering this new phase. Like I just turned 30 this year as well, and it's like turned 30, I got a fiance, I took a new job. Like so many major things are happening now, and it's like turning the page in my 20s. And when I look at how 2025 has been, like it's been a crazy year. And when you talked about like starting a new career, like I had that same type of like mindset of just like kind of like fuck it. Like why do I have to keep wasting my time with this job that I've been here for X number of years and they haven't offered me this. And now that I'm getting another thing, now they want to offer me this. Like why
Mm,
did it take, and I know this is how corporate America works. Sometimes you have to present opportunities from somewhere else for them to match it. But and, like, I remember saying it to my dad, and he's like, "That's just how things are." I'm like, "Well, that's frustrating that
yeah.
that's the way it is." Like, I put a lot of time and effort into this role, and I know my direct managers cared and appreciated that, and, like, it was definitely said to me. But, like, it's the way that corporate is, and, like, the chain of command, and it's gotta go up all these number of people and get approved by X number of people, and it's like, well, if you have to do all that and I'm already got one foot out the door, my other foot's going to be quickly out the other door, even if you match or exceed the offer that I just got from another place.
Exactly.
So it's like being willing to just take that new offer, because yeah, it's scary to start new. And obviously you kind of hit on that. But what's scarier, being the same job for 20 years and then looking back and like, damn, maybe I should have took that job at that other company when I was like 30 or 25 or 45. You don't want to live with that regret. Like go chase that new thing and you'll probably learn a lot. You'll probably mess up and fail. Like there's definitely things that I've messed up on already. But like I've learned more in the last couple months doing this new job that I did in the last like 2 or 3 years in my previous role.
Mm.
And you can't let stagnation hold you down. You have to keep progressing in whatever form it may be, whether it's writing a book or adding a new segment to your podcast or creating a YouTube channel or getting into Twitch streaming, like starting a new job, whatever it is, you have to begin that new process of evolving and growing. And I think too many people get stuck in that.
Facts. And the thing is, too, it's either you make the change or life's going to make you change. In It's inevitable. You literally said it. Just like the seasons, it's going to happen. So why not have control of things you have control of? Because it's so crazy how, especially in our society, I know we talk about, especially you, which is awesome, the mental health issue. It's weird that our generation, the millennials and new generations, it's such a main focus of mental health, but yet we're the most anxious, we're the most depressed. Um, Maybe because we're not believing in ourselves, we're not going after what we truly desire. And of course, there's other things we talked about outside the podcast too, where it's like you do have to be real. You have to find that balance of reality and like, yeah, go after those dreams. Not saying don't like fucking go for it. Don't let me stop you. I don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck what I say. Do care about what you say, but believe in yourself. In the end, it's your words that empower your mind and your actions. And I want to go back to it's like, why is it that when someone starts making a move to go somewhere else, is that when they want to keep you? Like going back to, because that was my company.
It's even in relationships too. Sometimes if you're in a toxic relationship and you want to make that change, or you have a discussion about improving stuff, or like the threat, if you're threatening leaving a relationship, just leave the relationship. Like, but like people do that, and it's like that's when sometimes other people want to like change and do stuff, like instead of just being a better partner or changing in that situation. The same thing in the job situation. Like I've already been doing stuff as a good employee. Why aren't you recognizing that? Why aren't we growing together as an employer and employee? Like you're collecting all the benefits and I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, getting pissed off because I'm doing all this work and not getting paid for it. Same thing in a bad relationship where you could be constantly pushing your partner or whatever in a toxic relationship per se. And then you threaten, well, I guess I'll just leave. And then they want to change or do something like that instead of actively changing with you. It goes into that same thing.
No, exactly, because if they truly loved you in the first place, I mean, the actions would show. Because I'm not going to say. I believe I talked about it in your podcast before. My last relationship I had, I was an asshole. I wasn't communicative of what I wanted in a relationship, of my emotions. And that's something I've worked on definitely in the past, 6 years since that last relationship. I'm very more articulate and more open about like, hey, like this is whether it be my values or just in general, like, hey, like I don't like what you did there, and we'll dig deeper why. Maybe I wasn't, maybe I fucked up and my perspective was wrong. But communication is the most crucial thing with everything, every relationship. Even my parents, I've definitely opened up more in the past couple of years because, I would, I was almost like afraid to let them down, but even taking actions, like even moving down to Virginia, taking this new job of, every time I talk to my dad, even like slightly mentioning like a new, like a sale, like going into sales. He's like, oh, like why? You have a good job at, EMC. You're doing great. You get. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't. I don't see myself. And plus, like another thing we talked about before, like society isn't the same like it used to be anymore. You can't just stick with one company and do your 40 and be there for 20 plus years and be financially set, and not even just financially set for now, but for a legacy to leave behind. You can't even do that anymore. Again, I've seen people that have been working at EMC for 40 years and they have roommates. And and this is a bigger picture than just the economy and country and stuff. We can switch topic after, but like, how is it that blue collar workers that are one of the major backbones of how we run things, not able to be able to sustain a household on their own? You have two high, like first class mechanics, great individuals, hard workers, and yet they have to share apartment because they can't afford a home. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously there may be a lot more gray areas and stuff like that. Everyone to each their own, but like, I, damn, sorry, I went off on like a fucking rant.
No,
Like
no,
all
I
off
mean
topic.
that's a real issue within our country is like affordability and like where our dollars are being spent in terms of employees. But I did want to transition to something
Yeah, yeah,
because you brought up a point where about controlling what you can control,
yeah.
and that made me think of fitness. And
Mhm.
because that's one of the few things in life I feel like we as people can actually legitimately have control over. Like you're controlling what you're eating, you're controlling how you're exercising. Like you decide like if you want to go to bed or go to gym late or wake up early and go to the gym or just sleep in. Like you have control over these things whether you want to believe it or not. And what I've seen from you over the last several years, and specifically, because obviously it's 2025 year in review episode we're
Yeah,
leaning on. In 2025, you've really taken that like bull by the horns in the way that you run and you train and you
yeah,
do all these things. So if you could, I'd love to learn more about how you kind of got into running initially and how it's been for you specifically in 2025.
yeah. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it a lot because honestly, yeah, you mean, um, we all need a reminder, right, of our progress, and that's and it's fun. Actually, shout out to my friend Alex, Alexandra of Alexandra Pet Services. Um, she like gave me a good reminder. Like, write a notebook down of all your successes over time, even if it's a small little win. So whenever you're down and about, look back and be like, oh damn, I did do that. That was pretty. Damn, I made it. And even just like you have a fat journal of success. You can always be like, damn, look at that. Why am I down now? But anyways, going back, yeah, with it's funny because I've never honestly, I've probably never been really disciplined in training until I signed up for the half Ironman. When I um just because it was because with running for me it was more just like for the fun, just like more of a, like a mental, like, yeah, I just wanted like more of like a my therapy anyway.
Mhm.
Um, so I would just first I was into running in high school. I fell off after high school. Uh, did it like here and there, but not consistent like I do now. Then I moved to Virginia 5 years ago. one of my great friends, James DeAndrade, may he rest in paradise. He passed away, and right before like our last conversation I literally had with him, he was like, I promised him I was going to run a marathon, and obviously that kind of put some fire under my ass under that day, and yeah, ever since then, man. Again, you because this is something like again, you talk to my younger self. I never even had the thought of running a marathon. Never mind even like 5 miles, 3 miles. So, um, just stop putting yourself down, yo. Seriously, like after I did that first marathon, that's when everything started just exponentially just going up of potential. If not this, why not this? And then my friend, funny enough, shout out to Kienberg, right after our first marathon, no, the Marine Corps marathon, our second marathon, he's like, "Hey, you want to do the half Ironman?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, I didn't even swim." Like, what do you mean do a triathlon for the first triathlon and be a half Ironman? Um, and I said, "Fuck it, might as well at this point. I can't let my brother do it by himself, you know." And do you have friends like that make you like, yeah, like, hey, we're signing up to do this stuff. Like, we're gonna do like that, push you like to limits that you wouldn't do necessarily.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no, it's great, man. It's such a blessing, man. And again, again, go back to spirituality. I'm glad I moved down south because I probably would have met people like that, but I don't know if I would have had a like as much of a drive as I do since I moved down south. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if we talked about this last time. I can't really remember, but like having an opportunity to live somewhere else, whether at any point in your life,
Oh, I think it was
will
the first
change you.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I've talked repeatedly on the podcast over time just about like moving to Texas and living out there and living in Georgia for a little bit, and I mean, this platform doesn't happen without that experience and like being around different people, seeing new ideas like is so crucial to like your development as a person. And if you have opportunities, because I know on some level it can be a privilege to have that access to go somewhere and live somewhere and
Oh
do
yeah.
all that and to move everything that you have. But if you do have that, like the things that you'll learn about yourself, you can't even put a price tag on that. Like the concept of this podcast and like everything that has come from it, all the connections, the book, everything stems from me moving out there. And like I'm forever thankful for that, even though that period was such a difficult like time for me mentally and like honestly spiritually trying to figure out like what the fuck am I doing out here? Like I'm in a new place with a new job and new friends, but I'm not happy. And like that was like the initial like questioning of things. And that snowballed eventually. Obviously, I got to the podcast and into a new job in a new career. And obviously I'm in a great relationship now. If you want like all this stuff happens because of I took a chance and went to go live somewhere else and do something. Even though I moved back here because my home is always going to be in New England. I love Massachusetts, Rhode Island,
Yeah.
New Hampshire, like all this stuff. Like this is just where I want to be. But that piece of me is always going to still be in Texas, where I was out there for a year and I really got to like learn about myself. And I don't know if you feel the same way and about Virginia and how you've been out there, but it seems like that's kind of like the sentiment that I'm getting from you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And because you have to venture out for yourself. You have to. This life is about self discovery. Um, people always look for external things to satisfy internal things. You'll never find it. In the end, you gotta challenge yourself, see what you're capable of, see. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like, dude, like I was in my head like crazy, just so like, oh damn, do I really want to move south? Do I really want to do that? I think it was the last episode I told you about that. I was thinking about moving south. I didn't even move south yet. The last, actually, no, I know. I think yeah, I did. I just moved down. So yeah, so I just moved south. Yeah, but like, you're going to have those thoughts when it comes to anything. When it comes to something new, because that's just nature. That's just our brain. Like, oh fuck, it's something new. We don't know what to do. But you've made it this far in your life. Just looking back at your life, you're like, dude, I've done all that shit. Why am I not going to be able to do this? And if, like you said, if things don't work out 100%, it's not always plan A. It's usually plan B or C. But um, you're going to figure out a way, and you're going to learn and be better. And that's something I had to learn growing up, because a lot of the times I try to like, these are just like internal, again, having time for yourself and reflecting on your thoughts and why do you do the things you do in the first place? Even just going to like me, I have a problem with food when I'm bored, like at home, because sometimes I'm not at the office. I'll just eat just cause. I'm like, I stop. I'm like, why? Why am I eating this right now? Is it just because I'm bored? I'm not being productive. Like, what do I, if we take the time to really sit down and evaluate every actions we do, we realize how much of the problems we have aren't really, well, there are problems in a sense, but like they aren't really problems. You have the control. Again, going back to self control, like you have to control even with your thoughts. There's a great fucking quote. I don't know if I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it says, how many times have we made ourselves depressed? And I mean, I'm definitely one of them. There's days, again, a part of those self battles you gotta have yourself is, you're gonna think down and be like, damn, am I worthy? Have I done anything with myself? Do my forefathers look down on me? Am I of value at all? Am I like to my family, my community, and even myself? And I mean, there's a question I have myself. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's just I feel like not even just myself. I think a lot of men, especially nowadays, are trying to find that purpose too. Like it's where there's society, where there's so much comparison and Instagram and social media, men are down on themselves, and it's like, yo, dude, you are. You mean, of course, we have things to work on. We can always be better, but just don't let that stop you from your journey of life and progression. Sorry, I'm kind of like ADHD all over the place right now. Okay.
No, and I mean, I agree with that sentiment though.
Yeah.
And like, it's really important for people in general and men specifically, because obviously we're men,
Yeah.
to find something to work on, to build on. Because, I mean, for me, I don't know about like everyone that's listening, but legacy is really important to me. And like, for me, family, like my family name, like the history of it, like we're able to track it pretty far back for the most part. But leaving stuff behind better than you received it. Like, and that's not even just like in terms of family stuff, like even like your career or like relationships, like even if it ends poorly, like can you reflect on that and say that you left somewhat of a positive impact on that person or that job or whatever it is, even if it ended badly or in a way that you didn't want? Can you look back and be like, yeah, there was moments where I've learned and like I shared stuff with that person or with that job that hopefully help them become better. Because if they get better with that information, great. But if they don't, it's on them. You can't force someone to get better. But leaving stuff better than you found it is important, because if we aren't constantly trying to improve stuff, shit's just gonna eventually slowly fall apart and regress to basically nothing. And as humans, like I think it's important to hold our community and society to that standard where we're constantly trying to get better. Like they talk about like the innovation of technology. It's like everything is always trying to progress, and maybe might not always feel like the biggest progressions as we gotten further and further, because like how much can you actually progress?
Mhm.
But those things challenge us to think of like what can I do better? How can I be better? Like what aspect of this podcast could be better? Where can I add to it? Could I do a new camera? Could I change the lights? Could I update certain things about the conversation? Like you think about this stuff in terms of whatever you're doing. And if you're not, that's a huge issue, because you need to always evaluate why you're doing something. And even to bring back the stuff from like work this year,
Yeah.
like that was a big reason why I wanted to take this role, was like basically it was a whole new team, and we're all basically going in there just asking, why are we doing things this way? And a lot of the answer is, oh, we've been doing it for 15, 20 years. That's just the way we do it. But we want it. We're willing to change that. And that's the greatest place to be.
Mm.
Because like there's so many opportunities to grow from that. It's like the willingness to change and the questioning. It starts with the questioning, but then the willingness to change allows where those flowers can grow from stuff. And I think that's
Mm.
really important, and something that I've really leaned on, especially as we're like wrapping up 2025, is like, where can I grow? How can I grow in thinking about the future and like ways that like I might not have always thought? Like I was telling you off podcast about like getting married, having a house, having children. Like, how do I do this? What's the best way to kind of approach this in like a logical fashion? Because obviously life's gonna life. Like there's certain
Yeah.
things that
Oh yeah.
you can't control, but like what can I control and work towards that will make my life easier? And even to build off last week's episode, like doing this stuff now and thinking about these things and having conversations around it, it's getting ready for the opportunities. When the opportunity presents itself, I've done all this thinking and questioning and planning where I can act, I can react on something versus just sitting and being like, oh shit, an opportunity. I'm not ready. I didn't do that. Like, you got to be ready for the opportunities. And that's something that we really hit on last week in 2025 in general. I've really thought about a lot more of like being prepared for any opportunity, not just a specific one that you had in mind, but like anything that could come your way, because it's not always going to be how you planned it. Like, I imagine for everything that you've done in your life and mine as well, like, I didn't expect to be doing a podcast. You talk about you didn't expect to get to the jobs that you're at. Like, I didn't expect to be where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
none of that. But like, I've consistently applied myself in areas where I can control certain things and worked hard at it. And over time, that hard work builds upon itself, and you can really seize opportunities. And I think that's like kind of like an overall theme that I've kind of picked up for 2025, at least for myself.
Yeah, but even like you're looking back, like you're looking back at moments that you were in your most even down, and you still managed to succeed, and those are the best moments. You're always gonna look back and be like, wow, like you're always gonna just look at yourself in the mirror, and be like, I'm amazed, I'm so. I mean, you have to give yourself that love, man. You have to be your best supporter. Yeah, I mean, I that's something I've been learning a lot, like in the past couple of years. Just love yourself more, man. Shit, we're our own worst critics. Why are you gonna beat yourself up more? The world's already doing that enough.
Facts. I mean, it's crazy to think about. Just like we were talking about, like right before we started recording, like our old podcast group and just recording and stuff. And I had a memory pop up recently, and like I forget. I think it was you, Jocelyn, and Brandon at the podcast table, and I was editing my podcast of me, you, and him.
Oh
And like you were, because
yeah.
I think you were just back in town at that
Yep,
time
yep.
doing episodes and stuff. And like I always say to my fiance, I'm like, I miss that shit so much, because like it was just so fun to be just like us and include Geo, and then we had Mark in the group, and we'd just go and just edit and do podcasts and just shoot the shit. And like,
Yeah.
even though Geo hated when we talk about podcasters talking about podcasting, but then we're doing it again
That's
right
so
now.
funny.
But like, it was so fun and just so relatable to have people that do similar things, even though we talk about different things sometimes.
Mhm.
But to be able to relate on the craft and connect, and like even just seeing you today just brings back all those good memories of like that time period, and like how things have changed and grown and evolved over time. And like, I want to give you your flowers in real time of like being willing to continue your podcast and still doing it. And like, I look back at our two podcasts are very similar on the way we
Yeah.
approach things. And like, obviously we have different formats because we're different hosts, but like we talk about similar stuff. And I think it's just amazing that you're still doing your podcast and you're committing to that craft when you can. And I actually kind of want to dive into that a little bit of like how the podcast has been for you, and how you've been able to kind of like switch your mindset in terms of how you record and when you record.
Gotcha. That's a good one. Thank you for the flowers and vice versa, man. You know, I mean, to have people in that community that push each other is really, I mean, it's just a reminder. Like I'm doing, it's not just for me; it's for other people too. Um, yeah, honestly, not gonna lie. I because recently, especially with this new job, I've been focused more on trying to perfect my craft in that, my knowledge, but also going back to like you say, I try not to put as much pressure on myself because right now it's just fun. Like you mean I meet people that are cool, you know, and if they want to come on, they come on, they share their story. Because right now it's not a 9 to 5. And again, another story we talked about, you know, what I mean, like I would love for I mean, both of our podcasts one day they will one day, but matter of when, but we don't know right now. But right now, let's just enjoy the journey. Let's have fun. I'm not going to pressure myself to make it like of course, I'm going to work to always make things better, like you were saying earlier. Oh, maybe I need a new camera. Maybe I need this, but like, I'm not going to pressure so much where it's going to give me anxiety, where I lose my love of it. You know, you mean I got on here because I like talking to people. You know, why am I going to? You mean once it gets to the point where I turn on my roadcaster and I despise fucking talking to people, I'm never going to do a podcast again. That's when you'll. That's when I'll be like. That's when I'll say my goodbye video. Like at that point. But yeah, honestly, it's more just again, but applying less pressure on myself, even though I do need to do more. We can always do more, but when it comes to just something that I love to do, why are you gonna why are you gonna make yourself anxious? You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean,
that's why. Yeah.
I've been in the same space of like, I've almost been frustrated at myself towards the end of this year of like not doing as many as I have in the past. But at the same time, I flashed to like a year ago, I hit 200 episodes. I released the book. Like, that was such a high that I was coming off of, where how do you live up to that? Like, you write your
Mm,
first debut book, you hit 200 podcast episodes. Like, it was 5 years of podcasting at the time. Like, everything just felt right. But I was like, well, what the fuck do I do now? And
mm,
like, that question can literally kill your passion, because when I thought about that, I was like, I don't have an answer to that. But there is no real answer to that. If you truly understand yourself as a person, you're going to be patient and allow things to present themselves. Like, do I like the podcast the way it is? Yes. Did I enjoy writing the book? Yes. Do I want to write more books in the future? Probably. Do I want to do that now? No. Okay, then we'll wait. We'll see what happens. Like, do you want to keep doing podcasting? Yeah. So set up episodes, keep doing that. And like, that has allowed me to stick to like my routine and setting up the format that I do and the schedule how I do it. That has always allowed me to continue on days that I don't want to do it. Cause
mm,
like, you're gonna have days where you don't want to podcast. Like, moved into a new apartment, started a new job. It's like, yeah, I got other stuff I'm worrying about. Like, I'm
yeah.
not trying to do all that stuff, but having the structure allows me to keep recording. Like, having the roadcaster, having the setup, having my cameras, like, all right, and it keeps working that muscle, and now it's episode 229, and we're doing another year in review episode on the Carroll Connection. And it's like, because of that structure, I'm still going, and like, I'm proud of that. And I look back, I can be proud of all the episodes that I've done. This is technically I think it's year 7 of doing podcasting. I just finished up year 6, and it's like, we're closing in on possibly a decade of podcasting in the next few years if I can keep this up. And it's like, I'm starting to lean in that space of where you're at, or of like, do them when you can, and like, don't pressure yourself, because that'll stress you out and make you not want to do it,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be in that spot, because that will kill it. Like, and I love this thing. I've done so many podcasts over the years, and it's like, almost like fearful to stop this. I don't want to stop this. It's like a ride that I never want to get off of in some ways. But like, I do know in some form or fashion this will change. I just don't know how. And I'm preparing for that pivot point, but I'm also still enjoying the ride as it's happening, because I know the end is probably closer than it is like further away, but I'm going to keep going as long as I can and keep going as hard as I can with it until I'm literally forced to change. Cuz like, I feel like the value that this has brought me into like my audience and guest is amazing, and like, you can't put a price tag on this. And
Thanks.
um I think it's just a crazy experience, and I'm just glad that we've been able to like kind of build upon this and both do our podcast and do it. And just seeing the way that you've done it and hearing the backstory of like, you've been focusing on the job more makes sense, because like, I definitely keep tabs on like episodes that you're
Yeah.
dropping, when you're dropping, how much you're dropping. Because like, I'm curious to like
Yeah.
see what you're doing, how you're doing it, because like, you're one of the few that have stuck with it. So
Mm,
I think you should be proud of yourself for knowing yourself to focus on the job right now, and like,
yeah.
that's going to be your moneymaker right now, and like,
Mhm.
not putting this too much pressure to stress yourself to not want to do
Yeah.
the podcast anymore. And I think
Mhm.
that's great.
And also it's like with my job too, again, it's like I get paid to talk to people. So sometimes honestly, like I won't even talk about my job with people and just be like, oh, I do a podcast, and like, wait, what? And then like it's just again, it's just like that's why I'm like I kind of don't really pressure it, because it's like, you know what I mean, it's gonna grow with my career in a sense. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, I'm gonna connect with people, and like honestly, it's just I obviously I meet people. I'm like, hey, you have a business? Oh, you want to come on the podcast? You want? Oh, you're a journaling joke? You want to come on the podcast? Hey, boom! I just know that over time it's gonna be, and um, yeah, I just try not to stress myself, man. I a lot growing up, I was just I put so much pressure on myself to try to be this perfect person, and that just makes you that just digs you deeper in the hole that you can never get out of. Sometimes, you know, not sometimes, but like you can't get out of it. It's just like, dude, like, do not do that. Perfectionism is some bullshit.
Yeah,
People
no,
love authenticity more than ever now. You know,
yeah,
especially with AI, like people want authentic, raw conversation like we are now. You know what I mean? Because nowadays you can't even trust video anymore. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no.
So
And I mean, like, I was even, we were kind of talking a little bit off air about
yeah,
this, but like, I've said recently too, and I saw this on a TikTok, but like, the I've never made money off this podcast,
yeah,
and then I've never really tried to monetize and do all that stuff. And numbers aren't there, whatever. But
mm,
like, I don't care, because I truly enjoy doing this, and I have a why.
mm,
And I saw this TikTok where it was kind of talking about like, you might not always get paid in the dollars or money aspect of things, but what you're getting paid in is experience, connections, your network. For me, communication skills and all that stuff. And if I flip back to 2019 when I first was starting this podcast, I've grown immensely since that period. And like the way that I can communicate with people and connect with people, like my communication skills have grown insane. Like the way I
Yeah.
can talk to people and even like my confidence level, whether it's at work or in real life, has grown with that because with social media, we're losing the ability to talk to people in person. And it's kind of sad and frustrating. But with the podcast, I'm forced to, whether it's once a week or once every other week, to like sit down with someone and have like 2 3 hour conversations with people and like be human.
Yeah.
And like that has helped me in real life connect with people. And I can imagine you do the same thing. So you probably feel the
Oh
same way
yeah.
on that.
Oh no, exactly. And then like, and also too, like, let me ask you, because I mean, it's happened to me. Have you had a podcast guest pass away? I know it's your
My
grandfather.
grandfather,
Yeah,
but
and I, dude, I commend like, but again, it still proves the same point I'm about to say. Remarkable that you're able to capture that moment in time, man. And not only for yourself, but for your family, for your kids, for you mean his great grandkids. If you want to know about what their great grandfather was like, because I had, like I said, one of my friends that passed away that got me into running. I luckily had him on the podcast, and then I found out a year ago one of my other, may he rest in peace, but he committed suicide. And to know that I have a piece of them that not only that their family can look back on, you know what I mean, to be like, wow, like here's you're making a great impact, Jared. Seriously, not even just to communicate connections, but just the memories you're treasuring, not for yourself, but everyone else out there
yeah, and
that maybe not tell you. You know what I mean?
I
But
think it's the same for you. And once you've had a guest pass away,
yeah,
unfortunately, it makes the shit way more real. And
yeah,
it some way kind of solidifies like the why of like we're having real life conversations with people that typically we don't always get to have in our day-to-day lives because life's real. Sometimes it's a high and by and like you can't always get into the nitty-gritty of like how you're feeling or where things are going or what your future may hold until we specifically are carving out time on our podcast and scheduling stuff to do that with people. And it's a form of therapy in a way that we're able to share that stuff without having it to feel so formal. And I think that's our way to kind of give back to people. And when you look back at like your life, it's like I can say confidently that I think we'll be very proud of what we were able to give back to people in form of conversation and acknowledgement and like attention. Because like that's sometimes missing in people's lives is they're not being seen for what they're going through or being seen for how they're feeling or being heard either. And we're offering our eyes and ears to people and giving them the space and creating a space that's welcoming to a wide variety of people to talk about why they have their passion and why they do what they do, how they got into it, and then obviously shooting the shit because that's part of a conversation.
yeah.
Because if you're not having a shoot in the shit moment and like talk about something that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, like is it a real conversation? Like
Hmm.
so like that stuff is real in what we do and we don't edit that and it's authentic and I think that's always going to be the value and it just makes me happy that we both do that in the same way but in different ways
Yep.
like it's so unique and I think that's it's great
Yeah, I like the way you structure your podcast a lot. You know what I mean? You have that nice structure, that flow with it. It's like when I'm going to Carroll Connection, this is what I know what I'm going to get. And I love that, and that's something I actually like. I literally talked to my friend last night about that. She's like, "You need like a stage." So that's something I'm working on too. Like now, this episode I just posted today. I'm now doing like not a reflection, but just like a quick insight intro instead of people because most of the time I kind of just press record and go. But she's like, "Well, let me ask you why. What random person going to take the time to listen to two random people talk without some insight?" It's like, all right, what are you guys talking about? What do you? So it's like now I'll do a video like almost like Theo Vaughn.
Mhm.
He's just hey, today we have this person on. We talk about fucking snorting cocaine off strippers' booties, and stuff like that. Yeah, but like, so there's different ways I'm trying to work with that. But
No,
so
that's a great
yeah,
piece of advice to like help capture because like I've thought about ways that I could maybe try to do something like that and that's actually could be a really good way to think about that but because like I know a random person's never going to click on two random people talking about something on the internet and that's what I've always accepted I'm just like
mm,
it's not for them if they don't want to click it just off of like whatever like your name is or the Carroll
Yep.
Connection, all right, it's fine. There's plenty of other podcasts you can go listen to. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for to be performative. I'm doing it because I legitimately enjoy, and this is the Carroll Connection, and the episode is the title name of like whatever the guest is. Like it just I don't want to be clickbaity with a thumbnail. That I mean that is a good piece of advice, and maybe I'll have to.
Thumbnails.
Well, not the thumbnails, the little quick insight. I
Oh,
actually
okay,
really
yeah.
like that. It's actually a
Yeah.
good thing to like
No,
think
shout out to
about.
my friend, man. She's like, yeah, because you know what I mean, it's like, especially if you're just scrolling through and you're clicking, because again, going back to, we're getting people's time, the
Mhm.
most valuable thing. So we gotta get that quick, like, hey, this is why you're watching it, quick, right? And I'm like, hey, it makes sense. I'm like, why did I not think of that? But I'm glad I have friends that are constructive criticizing people that I don't have just yes men around me too.
Yeah, and
Which,
that's huge. That's huge. I did want to take a
oh
chance to
yeah,
kind of like pivot with this a little bit
yep,
and bring us back to the 2025
oh
year review top part of it. And because we've talked about
yeah,
catching stuff up with your job,
yeah.
talking about the fitness aspect, we just talked about the podcast. When you're looking back at 2025, what are some of the moments, or maybe there's a specific moment that you think that you would be kind of most proud of or excited about that happened this past year?
It's a great question.
Could be a variety of things, and if it's the job, if it's like a marathon or something, like it can be that. It just I want to.
The job is definitely one of it, that's for sure, because that just really proved to myself that I I I do believe in myself. I do have trust and faith, not only in myself but in God, that He will provide, as He always has. And going back to the half Ironman, I mean, I just that was my first one this year in June. But yeah, in June this year, yeah, that was the most revelating experience, man. Because again, like swimming was my hardest thing. Like I was like, that's why I mostly trained with swimming. I was like, dude, I was so fucking nervous, but dude, I did so much better than I thought. But dude, even during the run at like the end, after doing 56-mile bike and a fucking mile swim, I had energy to. Like I felt fucking good. I was like, holy shit! Like this is. I don't know if it was the adrenaline, but dude, it's just yeah, definitely the half Ironman and taking the leap of faith on myself for the new career was the big. I always beat myself up over time. I always tell myself I was a failure, but now I'm proving myself wrong. I'm proving myself wrong to prove myself right that I am worthy to do great things.
I think this year is a huge testament to that. You're just
Yeah.
building, setting like the foundation for an amazing life. Like you're really taking major life steps in your career and in your health, which are two of some of the biggest pillars that we have in our life. Not to bring up the pillars of 5 pillars of meaningful life, but like it's true. Like
Mm.
health is one of those pillars. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, and like whether we want to, like the career it wasn't technically a pillar in the book, but it relates to so many aspects, whether purpose or passions, and like
Or relationships, like you were talking about, just like
yeah,
personal relationships, because you mean that if you don't have a good relationship at work, it's going to change your whole environment. You're not going to like it, and I mean, it's a big thing. Yeah, but I
yeah.
don't like that.
No, I agree with that, and it's like especially the way things are right now, finding ways to elevate yourself in a career that because you're not always gonna love your career no matter what you do. Like even if you're doing your passion as your career, there's gonna be things that you don't like about that. Especially as you get to those levels, like say you raise your podcast to a level of like monetization and you're making X number of dollars on that. There's gonna be aspects of this new form of your podcast that you're gonna fucking hate doing. Like I don't like editing my podcast. It's tedious, it can be frustrating, but like it's part of the process of doing this passion, and I accept that and I enjoy it because it's my passion. But like if I was just having to edit, like man, I don't like this. This is not what I like doing at all.
Yeah.
Like, but relating that to the jobs, like there's always going to be pieces of that. So finding something that you can like moderately like or enjoy or not just fucking hate
Yep.
is so important because so many people just hate their fucking job and will stay in it like we've talked about for 20, 30, 40 fucking years. Like you have to figure out a way to do something that you don't hate. Because, like, doing something you love is ironically kind of hard sometimes because monetizing. Like, how do you monetize doing certain things that you like? There's no clear answer for that all the time. So, finding stuff that can help you live a good, healthy life is super important. So, taking the steps like you are in your career, or even with me this year, taking that next step in your life is important because like you just don't want to be left behind, and sometimes it's you have to leave your old self behind to take the step forward. And I think over the last several years, especially 2025, I think both of us have done that in taking the steps that we need to live the life that we truly kind of want. And you don't always get that from people or see that with people. And I don't know about you, but I've definitely noticed that in not, I guess, like former friends or acquaintances or people that I've had on the podcast. Like sometimes it's sad to see them not take that next step or even give up on what they do. Like that's the worst thing. Like more, I guess, probably more for people that were in the early days of the podcast.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even do the things that they came on the podcast to talk about, and like it's sad to see that. But like I know life changes, but you don't want to be in that space where you were once known for something that you didn't fully pursue in some way, you know?
Yep.
And I'm still trying to keep applying the pressure in this aspect of like doing the podcast, keep going for as long as I can. Cause like I said, there's one day where I'm probably not gonna be able to do it the way that I do. And that's fine. I accept that and I know that. Like, cause like my ultimate life goal is like I want a family.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like to me, like it kind of builds off the faith aspect. Like I don't say like I'm religious or anything like that, but like I definitely have core tenements to my life that I fully believe in and like trust in. And I think family for me was always one of those core things that like I've always wanted to be able to have of my own. Like thankful for my family, but I also want to start my own too and give those values and life lessons that I've learned to future kids and hopefully have them and raise them to be also great people to take the torch and bring it further, kind of building on that legacy that we talked about earlier.
No, exactly, man. And you will. You will, fam. I know you will. You have the drive, so it's just I mean the matter of when. So
Yeah, and it's just planning, just being
yeah,
it
that's
goes back to what I just said about last episode that I had of just like being ready for the opportunities. Like you don't know how things are going to happen in life and you can't always plan that, but what you can do is control what you can control and be ready for opportunities. Like being prepared is super important in any form of life. Like
yep.
it's like, do you go into a job interview and just expect them to give you a job? Fuck no. You prepare. You look up what that company does. Like you prepare your resume. Like you like sometimes you look up practice questions and like how different companies ask different questions. Like if you're not prepared for an opportunity, it's just gonna blow right by you.
Mhm.
And I think this past year has been a great example of just like starting to like prepare and ask questions to get ready for opportunities that are going to present themselves in the future. Because you don't know what they're going to be. You can't plan for that, but you can get ready for them.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of like the thing that recently has been sticking with me for 2025 as we're starting to bring home like this year.
Yeah. No, exactly. Because you know, what I mean, it's that's on myself. Honestly, it's just like we can have all this hope, but hope is just hope unless you got a plan.
Oof, I like that.
No, dude, I live this new job, dude. It's so I love the people around me. They hold me fucking accountable as fuck. Because
That's important.
even just the words I say, like I used to say, well, I'm still working on it, but like honestly, because like, all right, now that you say that, it makes me think everything you said before was a lie. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like it just like it's so, but dude, it's just the power of words and stuff, man. I'm telling you, like we take it for granted, man. Even like I realized, like I didn't realize how powerful my dad was saying it. He's like, yo, when we were young, he always told us never to use the word hate. Because if you really hate something, you fucking hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's such an evil like. It's a powerful word, man. Or despise stuff like that. So it's like if you really say something, no, mean it. Like when you love someone, just mean it. You love them because there's some people. You mean I come to me, hey, like I start saying they'll say I love you too soon. It's just like or just in general, just be honest with yourself. Be honest with people. And people will appreciate that way more than its weight in gold for sure.
Yeah, words have meaning, and
Yeah.
we've gotten away from that for a little bit, but we are getting
Yeah.
towards like that back end of the podcast, and I want to kind of wrap kind of with at least the questions I have, and then I always give last words to the
Yeah.
guests right before, because I don't do like a ending question for people that return on the podcast. I
Yeah.
just kind of give them the last words, and I'll let
Gotcha.
you do that in a second. But I wanted to ask this of for 2026. Do you have any plans? What kind of like, things can people expect from you? What kind of goals might you have? And not to put you on the spot,
No,
but
I
just
love
kind
it.
of
No,
like
I love it.
because
Yeah,
then
I
I'll
love it.
go and I'll kind of give my kind of
I love it.
expectations and stuff for 2026.
Okay, yeah. No, it's always good. It's always good to plan ahead toward the end of the year. There's no because that's also another thing they talked about too at my job a couple days ago. It's like, hey, start making a plan now for 2026, not wait till the year starts. Be work start the year off strong. My goal next year by my hiring date of October 3rd, I want to have 100 clients under my belt. And I haven't officially done it yet, but I'm looking to sign up for a full Ironman in for Florida in November. So another part-time job of training is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's besides that, yeah. So full Ironman, get 100 clients, and then kind of just keep doing the podcast. You know what I mean? I just don't want it to stop. I will probably try to pick it up more in a consistent of at least like 2 a month. But yeah, just keep the flow of doing it. That's as far as I know. That's really it. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, actually, yeah. Never mind. That's it.
Any cool trips planned for 2026 yet?
That's funny. I was like, I'm actually I'm going to Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, that's gonna be sweet,
dude. Yeah, I got I'm a charity runner for Water Aid Japan, so I got in as a charity runner. So
That's gonna be sweet,
dude. I can't even fathom it.
That's a bucket list place for me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
want to get out there one
Yeah,
day.
honestly, yeah, dude. I know you have other plans trying to buy a house and everything, but I don't like right now the yen is super fucking like. Well, the dollar is strong against the yen in a sense of like it's like 150 yen for $1, so like your money goes far out there right now. Like I got a hotel, actually no, an Airbnb, a whole 3-floor house for 6 nights for $1,200.
Damn.
Crazy, like a whole like balcony on the roof, fucking whole. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, yo, so like, yeah, if you and then you mean the most expensive, I guess, is the ticket, but it's like $1,000 round trip.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
that's
besides that,
solid.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's my main like trip. I'm gonna do like content vlogs and stuff like that. I'm trying to get some fucking Japanese like uh just companies and stuff to get on the podcast. That's really my main goal is get like a koi fish farm owner or someone like that like to come on the podcast. So
That'd be sweet. Yeah, especially just being in person, be able to do that shit. That'd be that'd be sweet. That'd be
Holding that
sweet.
fat koi fish. Oh yeah, make some sushi. Yeah, they're like, you motherfucker, we don't do that. No, but yeah, man, just the Ironman, 100 clients, and Tokyo. That's my goal. What about you? What's your goals for next year?
Goals. I want to get back into my fitness stuff since my finger's been broken. So like,
dude, that's just so crazy how much that still bugs me out that just that tip of your fractured finger messes up your whole.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
That's
think
insane.
like you could do other weights off of that, but like I use a lot of free weights and stuff like that, and that requires your hand to hold stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna be like half holding stuff like fucking
A
like
French person holding tea or
yeah,
some
like
shit.
and like I said off, if it bends at all, I'm cooked, and it resets the timeline, so not even worth it. Like, just truly, I've been kind of resting and recovering to end the year. I feel like I've had a really good year, so like 2026. I'll get the X-ray at the beginning of the year and hopefully can start doing my recovery and getting back into fitness. Hopefully lose 5 to 10 pounds. It's kind of like the real thing. I've been losing the 5 to 10 pounds, the same 5 to 10 pounds for like past like 3 years.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do that again, and then keep doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I would hope to average again, so like 30, 40 episodes is what I've been kind of doing the last several years. Hopefully, I can still hit that that marker. Because I would really want to hit. I won't hit 300 next year, and might not hit it the year after because this is going to be 229. So that's about 70 episodes, probably another 2 years. So like hopefully keep adding that 30 to 40 to get closer to that 300 in a couple years. It's really like a marker that I want to hit. I'm going to Scotland in May.
Oh shit.
Gonna take.
You and the
I'm not
wife?
gonna keep this one quiet, but like
Oh,
we
okay.
got some private stuff that we're gonna do in Scotland.
Awesome. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and it's like a family trip and stuff like that, so that'll be really cool. I want to plan some other trip too, with my fiance. Usually we do like a fall trip.
Yep.
Debating maybe Tennessee this year.
Okay.
Because we've done like Maine, gone to Vermont, been to New Hampshire a bunch of times.
We went to Ireland together, right?
No, I went to
Oh,
Ireland with my family a couple years
that's
ago.
okay.
Went to New York this past fall. So we try to do something different every fall. So plan something like that. And yeah, just like I said, keep doing the podcast. I don't have like any specific content goal that I'm hitting for because like I'll eventually write another book. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the moments that I feel like I'm ready to start something new like that. Um, Again, just keep building upon the stuff I'm learning at my job, and hopefully by this time next year, really getting closer to taking like the next life step, whether it's a new role at work, looking at buying a house,
Mhm.
planning more of like the wedding family aspect stuff. Like that's like hopefully the main goal of this upcoming year is the real. We say this at work a lot, the meat and potatoes of the stuff. Like
Yeah.
get that stuff really ironed out this next year. So hopefully I'm getting into position to like really take life steps that I've really
Yeah.
been wanting to take for the last several years.
Fuck
So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
but I'm pretty
Let's
excited about
go.
that.
Woo! The house podcast. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
First podcast in the house.
That'll be the fucking that's the goal, really. Like have the dedicated space, make a Holden gym, like
Damn, the gym next to the podcast.
Yeah.
Imagine right next to it. You just as soon as you finish the episode, just fucking bench on that.
do a
bitch.
challenge if you could do 10 pull-ups to get like or 10 because not everyone can do a pull-up, but like I don't know, we'll do
That's
something weird
crazy.
shit.
People
Yeah.
should be able to. Fuck.
Yeah,
You're like
yeah.
hold up, 10 pull. You know what I mean? Shit. I used to like. I've only just started. Not gonna lie, doing more calisthenics recently. But like, dude, like, how much pull ups really does help your game, just in general. Like,
Yeah, I mean
feel so-
body lifts, like if you can't do push-ups and shit like that,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's
Body lifts.
like well just body exercises, like body like
Oh,
using your
okay,
body weight
gotcha.
and
Yeah,
shit.
using
That's
your
what I
body
mean.
weight and everything.
Yeah. But Eli, this has been really great podcast. I want to bring it home to your last words. So I'll kind of give you the floor. You can say whatever you want. You could, if there's something you want to say specifically, if we didn't hit on something, I'd just like to give my guest the kind of the last word on the podcast in case we missed anything or you wanted to hit on something specific or kind of leave the audience with anything. So
Yeah.
let you kind of take the floor with that.
Thank you, thank you. I just want to say thanks again, Jared. As always, I love being on. I mean, I get fucking hyped for coming on your podcast, dude. It's just a great, like you said, it's a nice relief just to shoot the shit, have fun. You know, especially now that I've been here multiple times, it's literally just like, yo, I don't go like we're just vibing. Yeah, but thank you, man. I just want to give you your flowers first. I appreciate you, man. You're doing great. I'm excited to see what 2026 brings to you. You know, every goal you've set for yourself, you achieved it. You're gonna do great, man. Fucking what else? Anyone out there as well? I hope you've got something out of this conversation. I hope that you inspired yourself and take that momentum. You know, I know it's easy to get inspired, but to keep it persistently every day is the real key goal. Just know that you can do it. Keep your head up high. Even if this year wasn't your year, every day is a new day. Every day. Um, so take advantage and laugh a little. Don't take life too seriously. And if you guys want to follow me, follow my shenanigans. Follow me on the Spawncast podcast. That's SPONCAST. On YouTube, Rumble. Actually, do you post your stuff on Rumble? Or
Nah,
no?
I gave up on Rumble.
Really? Why? It's
Didn't.
not a lot of audience. Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was worth the extra work to
Mm.
do it. Like I create like I use Rumble every once in a while if I'm
Mm.
trying to watch someone specific, but like
Yeah.
I don't really use Rumble. It usually gets undownloaded on my phone because I don't use it that much.
That was me in the beginning, but
Yeah.
like recently I've been noticing like I've been getting more views on my Rumble videos, like posting my podcast on there. Like, and, you know, I mean, nothing too crazy, like 30, 40, you know what I mean? Like
Still better. It's 30 extra views that you wouldn't have had.
no, seriously, yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh wow, like so I didn't know if like you've
No, maybe
noticed like a big like increase or anything. I don't know if more people have started using Rumble and stuff, and like that's why.
Maybe there's just better algorithm that pushes it. That could be that could be it. Like I
Probably.
mean, maybe it's worth checking into because I remember when you started doing it, I was like, yeah, I should do that, and then I just never fucking did it. So
Nah, I
like,
feel you.
maybe it's time to like revisit that.
I'll look up. I'll look up. I'll do some research to send it your way, just so you know. I mean, don't plan wasting your time if it's not really worth it. you know?
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
But yeah, what was it? Yeah, Rumble, YouTube, all audio platforms. You know, fucking Castbox, Apple, Spotify. But thank you guys for taking the time to listen to the Carroll Connection as well. Support him. Support all your locals as well. Support their dreams because if you, oh damn, what's a great quote? Fuck, damn. Do you mind if I look up?
Yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick?
Look on your phone.
Yes, let's go. Ah, dang, I wonder.
Rather have you get the quote that you actually want to instead of butchering it and then be pissed at yourself later for butchering it.
I'm like, no, dang it. I have it in here somewhere.
This doesn't get edited out. This is real life podcast.
Yes, I love it. Yes, I had to add the authenticity.
Can't get this anywhere else.
See, and that's what I like too, man. It's like some people are like, oh, you don't edit your stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, Count
Yeah, I don't
podcast.
like it. I mean, I've done it for sometimes someone says that it's something they don't want on the podcast, and I'll have to edit that. That's the
Yeah,
worst, to be honest, because like you don't if you don't have the awareness to not say something that you don't want to like what are you doing?
yeah,
Like I'm not
yeah.
pressuring you to say anything. Like you said that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, facts. Yeah, yeah, that happened to me a couple times where I had to. It was just a name they didn't want.
yeah, it's
Their
always something
parent
like
was
that.
in actually is a high governmental official, so it was
Yeah,
actually
it's
kind of
always
like
some weird stuff like that. It's like
yeah. But like, you thinking that you would
I
know though.
understand, like, because like sometimes
Yeah,
you're talking, you forget, but like, how do you?
maybe you're that good. You're just that good at getting people to relax that they forget they're on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm maybe I've gotten really good at this. I don't
No,
know.
facts, dude. I'm telling you. All right, so I found it. No man can become rich until he enriches others. If you believe you can enrich yourself by deluding others, you can only end by deluding yourself. By William Shakespeare.
Boom. I think that's a great place to bring home this podcast. And again, Eli, I appreciate you for coming out here. I know you're only back for a little bit with your family and stuff like that, and being willing to come give me some of that time and do this podcast. I really greatly appreciate you for doing this. And again, this is the third time we've done this. Hope we can do this a couple more times and keep rocking out with this. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you go with like your career and the podcast and everything else in between. So again, thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I love coming on here all the time, dude. It's a great experience as always.
Appreciate that. So for you guys though, if you guys like the podcast, please rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends, share with the family, share with the grandma. Check out the carrollconnection.simplecast.com. Also able Apple Podcast, Spotify, and all the major listening platforms. If you'd like to watch your podcast, go on YouTube, search the Carroll Connection or at Jared M. Carroll, and it'll pop up for you. And if you want to be a guest or return as a guest, hit me up on Instagram at Jared M. Carroll or at the Carroll Connection. We'll set that up, as well as plugging the 5 Pillars of Creating Meaningful Life, only available on Amazon. And if you buy the book, please submit the review on Amazon. It goes a long way in the algorithm. So until next time, guys, peace.